We're talking about the Saucony Endorphin Pro 4. Welcome back to another race day review, and today I'm reviewing the Saucony Endorphin Pro 4. I just used this at the Broad Street Run. It is a 10-mile race in Philadelphia with 40,000 runners partaking. This is a fast race. It is straight with a little bit of elevation, not much, and it is a very fast race. And for that run, I decided the Pro 4 was the shoe for me. The overall of this shoe, I really dig. Now in this video, I'm gonna go over the positives and the negatives, and if I would wear this shoe again for an upcoming race. Now before I do wanna point out one thing. This shoe was provided to me by Saucony, but they'll have no say in what I put in this review, and they'll never have a say in what I put in any type of review that I do on a Saucony shoe. Now sit back, relax, and let's talk about the Saucony Endorphin Pro 4. Because I'm a positive guy, I'm kicking off with the positives. Power Run PB. Oh, this foam is so freaking nice. I've used this on a lot of speed workouts, long runs. I have a lot of miles in this shoe. And every time I run in it, I'm so in love with the Power Run PB. It feels fantastic. It's not too firm and it's not too squishy. For me personally, it's like a Cinderella shoe. It's that perfect middle ground. I really love the Power Run PB. I feel like I can run fast in this shoe. For the Broad Street Run, I did about a 6:30 pace, and that felt effortless in this shoe. It really did. And the best part about it is I'm coming back from a marathon a couple weeks ago, so to be able to put that kind of pace together and being aided by this shoe, because I definitely was. This shoe definitely helped me through the run, is really, really nice. The other thing I really liked about this shoe, and I've liked about it for a while, is the lockdown. It's a really nice lockdown. I tied this shoe. It was raining that day. I had no issues at all. I saw a lot of runners pulling off to retie their shoes. I had no issues. I locked it in, regular tie, no issues at all, and I felt really comfortable. The other thing I really like about this shoe is the upper. Now, the upper is, definitely a little bit more accommodating, which really works for me. I don't have a narrow foot and I don't have a super wide foot. I always tell people I have a whitish foot, kind of like on that borderline. And the upper is very accommodating. For going for 10 miles, really picking up the pace, I just felt comfortable in this shoe. No hot spots, no blistering, really no issues at all. Again, great lockdown, no heel slippage. Upper was fantastic. And again, the magic is definitely in the foam. And me personally, I love the looks of this shoe. I love the looks of the shoe. It just does it for me. Maybe it's because I grew up in a generation where we had the starter jackets and the Phoenix Suns jacket was one of the ones you absolutely wanted. I don't know. But again, overall, this thing just hit the mark. Comfortable, fast, no issues at all, and looks definitely got it going. While I'm a positive guy, there's always a couple negatives. And here are the negatives for the Endorphin Pro 4. The big one for me, and something I do want to note, was it rained pretty hard in the beginning of Broad Street, and this shoe just soaked up the water. The first 5 miles while it was still raining, I could just hear my foot going squeeze, squeeze, and I felt soggy. It wouldn't release the water and everything. There's not much material with this shoe at all, but I don't know, it just felt like I kept retaining the water when I was running, and it just felt, I could look down and I could see the water kicking out through my shoe, and like when I was set, it just, I don't know, it's just one of those things. If you are doing a run that has a lot of rain, just note that this definitely soaks up all the water. Again, maybe it was my sock, I'm not 100% sure, but it definitely started feeling a little bit heavier as the run went on because I was just soaking up so much water. Now, I didn't get any blisters, so that's always a huge plus, but again, it just kind of stinks when you're out there for 10 miles and there's so much water in your shoe. The other thing is, I pointed this out in my review, it doesn't cause issues, but this is still one of the stretchiest tongues ever. So when you are getting this shoe on, it's rainy, you're trying to get a good lockdown in, this is still pretty squishy, and it does, if you have a narrow foot, I do think you're gonna get some bunching right there. I don't know if you guys can see that on the camera. I don't get the bunching there, but I do think a lot of people will get the bunching there. It's just a very stretchy stretchy tongue. Again, it just takes you a while to play with it, getting it on, getting it flat. Because the one thing I hate personally is if there's any bunching right here, because it just bothers me my whole run. Again, I was able to get it flat, but you definitely have to play with it. Yeah, the other thing is too, is I'm always going to point it out, it's $225, one of the cheaper super shoes, but it's still $225. I don't like that cost. But honestly, those are really the only two negatives that I have about this shoe for taking this on Broad Street. So there you go. Those are my pros and those are my negatives. Honestly, overall, this shoe did the job. I felt fast in the shoe. I love the looks of the shoe. I was able to go on tired legs. Remember that, folks, tired legs, and bust out a 630 pace. Now, I do feel really fit, but the shoe is definitely the right pick. It was absolutely the right pick. I did have some issues with some water, but I don't know if any shoe really would have been able to handle it any better. Again, I'll have to keep testing more super shoes on race days with rain and everything like that, but overall, the foam did the job, the upper great lockdown, and no issues at all. And for 10 miles, pushing the pace, when I wasn't feeling 100%, my quads still weren't there, it did the job. It did the job. It did everything I needed to. So yes, I would rock this shoe again for a 10 miler, half marathon, and absolutely for the marathon. This was definitely a shoe I had up there as one or two picks for my marathon. I went with another shoe, but this easily would be on my feet for another marathon. I really like the shoe. I think Saucony hit it out of the park with it. And again, here you are. My race day review gets an absolute buy. This shoe is freaking awesome.